Hello, I'm Fides from TAKRIZ, and today I would like to bring to your attention the critical situation of freedom of speech and expression in Tunisia. The last resemblance of freedom are dying rapidly. The situation is really urgent. To put things in context, Tunisia was a beautiful country where different civilizations chose to live. A country tiny in size but big in its historic soft power. Through the centuries, our land is known for its peacefulness and tolerance as well as its openness. Tunisians were also pioneers in the Arab world in matters of freedom and human rights, let alone women's rights. Historically, Tunisia had strong diplomatic and economic ties with the US that dates back more than 200 years. World War II is probably the most important historical evidence, but let us also not forget the American Friendship Treaty the US and Tunisia signed in 1799. We, TAKRIZ, are the first Tunisian online think tank. The movement was founded in 1998 and is considered a pioneer in cyber civil rights activism worldwide. This is how NATO defined it back in 2002. Most importantly, TAKRIZ is the voice of the Tunisian youth. From 1998 to 2002, we were able to gain mainstream acceptance in our country. We innovated on the internet, which was barely being implemented back then. We won much exposure due to the nature of our work: free, true, secular, honest, citizens, critic, peaceful, and anonymous were what best defined us from inception. Our work is purely related to freedom of speech and civil rights, two fields completely annihilated by the Tunisian government since 1987. Our online movement has been censored 10 years ago, from August 2000 precisely. In the 2 years we were able to emit freely online, we outpaced the government repression system. What we did was tremendous. We started sparks of critical thinking on the situation of the freedom of our society, the bad and the not so good. This in turn made our citizens rally and follow us. We were a true patriotic example of what should have been done in Tunisia in terms of debate and democracy. People, through the power of the internet, got enlightened and understood what civil rights meant to them. They saw in it the building block of the future Tunisia. Fortunately, this led the government in our country to censor our websites. Then it started a hunt on our members and jailed some of us. Some of us were also tortured and died. Here we all recall the soul of martyred Zuhair Yahyawi. You might wonder why online, why on the internet? The answer is simple. In Tunisia, any kind of media is controlled by the government, and no inch of freedom is left without surveillance, repression, and censorship. You might wonder why anonymous? The answer is obvious. We cannot be otherwise. There is no repression, jail, torture, and death. We just can't do without it. Today we are standing in front of you asking for the right to think, the right to express ourselves and debate our ideas, the right to prepare our generation to lead the country, the right of doing so, being free from any kind of fear, terror, repression, and torture, the right to be free from any kind of illegal and political censorship. We do ask for these rights because today Tunisia is in its highest alarming state, a country ruled by one man, where there is no democracy, no justice, no civil rights whatsoever. In all our modern history, no similar repression has taken place. Torture, corruption, fear, abusive trials disguising political trials are happening today at a frequency that's alarming and, quite frankly, dangerous. Today in Tunisia, the people have no means left available to prepare the succession of Zine El Abidine Ben Ali, the dictator. The last elections of October 2009 were a stage for a comedy no one could ever believe. 8,150 days, mental slavery and dictatorship. 23 years of terror and repression are here to remember everyone what Ben Ali is. On top of that, our government is lying. The media that are totally controlled by the state is lying. We are forced to live in a country where no freedom is left to its people, and where lies and misinformation from the propaganda of an evil regime are bringing the people down to their knees. Whoever left that dares says the truth is shut down by the most terrifying methods and in the quickest time frames. These past 6 months alone, 3 journalists, including our member TBB, Taufik Ben Brik, were sentenced to jail in unfair trials because they wrote on the situation we are mentioning. Students were jailed because they protested for the problems the Tunisian university is facing. The Free University of Tunis, ULT, has been shut down because its dean wrote a book and criticized the political system and the state of civil liberties in Tunisia. We could go on. But I would also like to bring to your attention that the laws against terrorism that our government is so proud of using aren't in fact working. What might make you think the Tunisian dictatorship is your friend in the war on terror is arguable. These laws are working for terrorists, and that's mostly because of the way they are carried out in Tunisia. What I see in my country today is people left with no freedom at all. Never before there were people so easily brainwashed. People that could do anything for the sake of a minute of pride, a minute of terror. People are embracing radical forms of religion that's dangerous. They've got nothing left to lose. No freedom, no identity, and no way to actually blame the responsible for that. The dictator made us bend and took advantage of everything. It took our freedom, it cut our tongues, it disguised the truth, it disguised the democracy, it raped our country. This matter is urgent, the situation can no longer stand. And if dictator is still here, it's because it shut every single door and every single window of free speech and free thinking. It alienated with fear and terror all actors and classes of our society, and on top of that, it mocked every ideology based on freedom, civil rights and democracy. To fix the Tunisian dictatorship paradigm, we need our freedom to speak. We Tunisian people need freedom to build our country, to work something durable, freedom to live like real human beings, not slaves belonging to Zine El Abidine Ben Ali and his mafia. The US has been built on a constitution stating freedom of speech and democracy as its First Amendment. The US President Mr. Obama in his speech in Cairo affirmed the importance of free societies in the Arab world. Senator of State Mrs. Clinton on January 21st of this year confirmed the importance of freedom in the oppressed countries and the importance of an internet free of political censorship. Previously, Mrs. Rice, having established the US Global Internet Freedom Task Force, pointed to the same points. We totally agree on these stands. We are ready to apply them should you help us gain our freedom of expression. We are asking you for concrete actions here, be it tougher diplomatic pressure on dictators, or closer support to TAKRIZ, building the technological tool that would allow us and our members and readers to bypass political censorship online, be it by forcing the Tunisian government to lift all deep packet filtering and censorship on the site takriz.com. On anonymity, we would no longer need it the day freedom of speech will be established in Tunisia. We all seek that day in which we can reveal our names without repression, without fear, without jail, without torture. TAKRIZ is open to discuss the points described in this brief with any qualified party. You can reach us at free@takriz.com. Our group published an extranet in English for anyone needing more information on TAKRIZ. That's at www.takriz.net. Those who are relinquent to the idea of a sovereign people in Tunisia. Those who do not take active steps in liberating the voice of the Tunisian people. Those of you who will continue to support the dictators in our country shall be remembered and will be remembered as such. Dictators come and go, history prevails. And if Ben Ali on top of his 70s is soon to be history, bad history, we would love to have the opportunity to work on his succession from now on, avoiding this way any turmoil and more global atrocity to come. Thank you.